Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Absolute Truth Allah. Welcome back to the Absolute Boss Collective. And today we're going to be talking about looking for weed, marijuana, Mary Jane, Chiba, ganja, marijuana stocks. Okay, that's what this episode is about. Okay, we're going to talk about all of the legalization efforts that are underway, especially here in New York. There should be a vote on the legalization of marijuana for recreational use. Okay, so we're going to get into that, and we're going to get into some stocks, and we're going to try to make some money off of these efforts. Okay, before we get into all of that, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you're interested in learning how to day trade or learning how to invest, how to identify good companies, how to improve yourself so that you can get to a level where you can make a second stream of income, where you could pull money out of the market just based off of what's going on in the headlines. This new content that comes out can assist you on your journey. So hit that notification bell so you'll be aware when that happens. Okay, before we get into some of the milestones that have occurred, I want to hit y'all off with a quote from the man himself, Bob Marley. Bob Marley said, "None but ourselves can free our minds." And that's what we do here at the Absolute Boss Collective. We free our mind so we could be prepared to master these markets, to make our way out of navigating these markets. Okay? So, marijuana. Let's get into it. 20 years ago, marijuana was illegal in all 50 states. Okay? In that short time, okay, there are varying degrees of legalization in 34 states at this point. So we pretty much about to come full circle on this whole thing. Interestingly enough, Oregon was the first state to decriminalize marijuana in 1973. Think about how advanced it was. You know, there's different categories, if you will. There's medical cannabis and there's recreational cannabis or recreational marijuana, which is what is going to be voted on at some point this week in New York. Okay, and I remember going back about a decade. Yeah, if I think about it, I wasn't a day trader at that point. And I was having a conversation with somebody, and I explained to them that if we were to legalize marijuana and legalize prostitution and tax it, we would be able to solve all of our deficit issues. And that was a long time ago. I said that. Now, finally, they're catching up to your boy Absolute. They finally getting on my level at this point. So we're going to see what happens and what comes of that. I have 10 marijuana stocks that we're going to discuss today. We're going to pull up the charts. We're going to see how they've performed. We're going to go back to 2019 because that's when a lot of these legalization efforts have taken place. There's way more history than that, but we're just going to deal with the last 2 years. So we're going to deal with 2019 up until yesterday and see how these 10 stocks have performed. I'm going to share their charts with you. You can look at these charts. I urge you to look into those companies and any other companies. We're going to start, this marijuana section, looking for weed, so that we can all be aware of the hot stocks that are in play when marijuana is discussed, when legalization efforts are underway, or we have passage. We're going to look at these stocks. We're going to track them. Now, there's a bunch. I have one personal watch list, which is called Get this, high profits. Get it? It's like a double entendre. High as in getting high, and then high profits. Okay, never mind. Anyway, that joint has about 70 stocks in there. And most of them are, penny stocks, but there are some good players in there. And then I have about 3 or 4 other watch lists that were created by someone else that I tend to refer to. Okay, so the best performing stocks, which are in my high profits watch list, are SMG, GWPH, STZ, BHC, TCNNF. Okay? And those stocks, which I'm going to bring the charts up now. So when we start with SMG from 2019, we're talking about March 29th, 2019, that stock was trading at $78.58. Okay. As of this morning, prior to market opening, that stock was $245 for a gain of 211.78%. The industry that SMG, which is Scott's Miracle-Gro, that's a chemical and fertilizer company. Okay, so when we talk about the trees, you know what I'm saying? Whichever company is, putting this product on the market, they're going to need to grow. So that's why Scott's Miracle-Gro has appreciated so much over this time frame. The next one is GWPH. GWPH was trading at $168.57, and as of yesterday was $218 for a gain of 29.32%. And that's in the healthcare industry, marijuana sector. Okay. The next one is STZ, which was trading at $175.33. And it has appreciated 34.59% for a price of $235.98. And that's in the food and the food industry, beverage and alcohol sector. So that's all of your cannabis infused beverages. Incidentally, I was in the Village last week, and some guy was standing out there and he was handing out cannabis infused water. Okay, I took one of them. I wound up giving it to somebody else, so I didn't even taste it. You know what I'm saying? But he was out there giving them out. Okay. The next stock on the list is BHC, which went from $24.70 to $30.50 for a gain of 23.48%. That's in the drug industry. Okay. And then we have TCNNF, which was trading at $13.17 and has gone all the way up to $46.13 for a gain of 250.03%. Okay, the average of those 5 top performing stocks in my high profits portfolio is the average return was 109%, 109.84% return. So 2 years ago, if you put $1,000 into these, 2 years later, you would now have $2,000, a little bit over $2,000. Okay, and I'm calling these particular stocks FUBAR. Okay, do you know what FUBAR means? Okay, if you know what FUBAR means, put it in the comments. Okay, the next 5, which was very shocking when I was putting together this info for this video. Now, I remember maybe 2 or 3 years ago when there was a legalization in California, and the legalization was coming between the time of New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or something like that. Because I know I bought a bunch of weed stocks New Year's Eve or something like that. Whatever day was closest to New Year's Eve, because I know that the law was going to go into effect starting that next year. Okay, so when I do an update, I will give you all of those actual dates. Anyway, I bought a bunch of these stocks, and it was just all for the idea that, oh, it's going to be legalized in California. Once it's legalized in California, then I'm going to get this pop, which that worked perfectly. That was one of the greatest trading performances that I can remember, in the sense that I had an idea, I had a thesis. I identified what stocks I was going to use to make this vision a reality. I did it. I planned it. I did the execution. It worked out perfectly. The black eye in the game was that even though marijuana was legal on the state level, it's still illegal on the federal level. And this is why a lot of these companies are kind of in limbo, because a lot of them can't put their money in banks. There's always the possibility that the Fed could just come in and raid, that company or whatever, and take everything that they have. And that's why I was a little bit hands off for a while. I'm telling you, this was like 2 to 3 years ago that this happened, maybe even 4. Okay, so when I put together, I was putting together the data for this video, and I did the 2-year stretch, and a lot of these tickers that are in here, which I'm going to call it, this is dirt weed right here, because the performance was horrible. I remember trading these names, and I expected to see just a much greater return. So these 5 stocks that we're going to call dirt weed, from March 29th, 2019 to March 30th, 2021, pre-market, have an average loss of 33.37%. All of them are in the healthcare sector. We can look up these individual companies and see what it is that particular company does. And they are as follows. This is the only winner out of the 5. Is IIPR. Went from $81.69 all the way up to $174.06 for a gain of 113.07%. Then we have CGC, which went from $43.37 down to $31.10, which is minus 28.29%. Then we have OGI, which went from $6.75 down to $3.35 for half. It got cut in half. It lost 50.37%. Next, we have Kron. And Kron went from $18.43 down to $9.12. That's also half. Then we have ACB, which went from $108.72, ouch, all the way down to $9.01. Okay, that's a loss of 91.71%. You would have lost pretty much all of your money. 9 out of every $10 that you put into this play. Okay, and that was disappointing for me to see that, because I remember when it was hot and when ACB was just coming out and Kron was out. And there's a couple of other names that we'll discuss in other videos. And just to see that over this last 2 years, as things been stepping up, their price has been getting hit. And I know a lot of them have had earnings reports, and the earnings reports were not favorable. They're not profitable companies. It's a bit of a crowded space. Okay, so that may play a part in it as well. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is be on the lookout for these names. If you do not have a watch list, create one. And look for the top performers in the sector. I'm going to give y'all a jewel real quick. And the jewel real quick is I have a marijuana ETF in my retirement account. Ticker symbol MJ. We will talk about that in the next update. But for now, I want you guys to look at that, see if there's any other weed stocks, marijuana stocks out there that you're interested in that we didn't cover them. Place them down in the comments. We're going to get to them. We're going to talk about it. We're going to keep an eye out. Let's see what happens this week with this vote. And this is Absolute for the Absolute Boss Collective, letting you know we have a contest going on right now. We're doing our best to get the family up to 1,000 subscribers. We broke the 100 subscriber mark sometime about, I don't know, 6-7 hours ago. We broke that. So we're pressing on to get to 1,000 subscribers. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, one of them is going to win $500 cash. Okay? So I have a video on my page pertaining to the 5 rules that you need to follow in order to enter that contest. Make sure you're sharing this video and sharing the contest video, sharing this page with all your family, friends, and associates so we can reach that milestone and somebody could get paid. This is Absolute telling you to look, listen, learn, work, wait, and win. Let's get this money. Peace.